Hi, Bill, back with another report. A lot of controversy these days, as you can well imagine. We're walking into the company meetings next week, 23rd, 24th. The union will be holding their meetings Monday prior. We want to be able to give you some things to think about over the weekend. Particularly, I'd like to appeal to people's read of the company. Now, we should try and put things in perspective going into this because we believe we need to clearly think about what's coming down the pike. We need to understand that people are hungry, people are broke, some people just want to go back to work. They've been presented with an agreement from the company, and this agreement from the company is tempting. It would be nice to be able to sign it and it would all be over. But there are issues that you have to think through prior to doing it. First of all, it's going to get down to an issue of credibility. Is the company lying to you? Is the union lying to you? Let's run through the record. U.S. Steel locked you up. U.S. Steel put you on the street. They're now giving you an opportunity to come back to work. They're going to present you with a collective agreement that's full of holes. We know pieces of this collective agreement are missing. We know it's an incomplete agreement. We expect better of our union and we expect better of ourselves when it comes to collective agreements. Your union has steadfastly declined to bring back incomplete collective agreements to you. You would not tolerate that type of ineffectiveness from your own union. There has to be answers to questions. There has to be answers that are enforceable. When the company comes to you and says, we've omitted part of this collective agreement, I'm sure that they're going to tell you it's no big deal. It is. It goes to credibility. Why are they trying to sneak that one by you? Why are they refusing to deal with it with the union executive? Your union executive is here to give you the answers. Your union executive is here to be able to answer any questions, to guide you, and to give you their opinion of what's on the table. We know that once the curtain closes in the polling place, the decision is entirely yours. You should have all the information to make that decision. Some are saying that letter of agreement 12, not a big deal, maybe it affects somebody else, maybe it won't affect me. Reality of it's going to affect everybody. The letter that's missing is the one that gives the union the ability to prevent contracting out, not react to it later. I'm sure those who are telling you that you could go to arbitration and do the same thing. Your ability to go to arbitration is severely limited by that deal. Now, the union has several pieces of that collective agreement that they can't answer to simply because the company hasn't had real negotiations with us. The union's responsibility is to bring you back a package that's explainable, enforceable, and has every conceivable detail taken care of. The one the company is presenting to you does not have that. So you have to make a decision when you go to the polls. I don't think credibility is going to be an issue. I don't believe any of you, particularly our new members, are going to walk in there with any illusions that the company can be trusted. They're business people. Their bottom line is cash, not your welfare. Their bottom line is get the company back going. Ask yourself why. Why is there such a hurry right now to get this company back into production? Is there a need? Why is this happening? Why all of a sudden is this offensive there right after the EI claims got turned down? The company's motivation in doing this is hunger and fear. They hope that you're hungry enough and they hope that you're afraid enough. We've heard the outside world with the just be glad to have a job crowd. They will always pitch in and they will always tell you what they think is right for you to do. We've seen some of the stuff on the blogs. I don't think anybody seriously takes any kind of advice from somebody who represents themselves as Mr. Potato Head. The union is the organization that gives you the facts. The union is the organization that's going to tell you exactly what's on that document. There was a reason why the company wanted us to stay mute. There's a reason why the company didn't want us to talk to you about this agreement. The union's not going to do that. The union's responsibility is to you, not to the corporate bottom line, not to whether or not people are getting increases at the corporate level. It's whether or not your interest as workers is being taken care of. In this agreement, your interests are not being taken care of. This collective agreement, not just in a financial sense, but in a job security sense, is leaving you vulnerable. The letters that we're talking about do not just affect tradespeople. They do not just affect a segment of our group. There are contracting firms out there that can do any job that we have, and there are people that can be hired in as contractors to do any job out there. You're putting yourself at risk. And remember, when you're sitting down and you're having conversations with people about this, no matter what is said to you, the bottom line is, if you haven't got it in writing, you haven't got it. Fear and hunger are going to drive a lot of you. Fear and hunger about the future. And I cannot sit here as a union rep in all honesty and tell you that your issue will be resolved tomorrow. However, I can sit here and tell you that if you take this collective agreement, your issues are just beginning. You may be back to work, you may be making money, but your future is severely impaired by this. And if you think that for one moment that U.S. Steel cares, just look at the documents that they did present. We saw the documents that went to people's homes, incomplete. Incomplete why? They were in a hurry to print them out. They were in a hurry to get them in front of you. They were doing this the same day we were trying to negotiate with them. There is another point that I would like you to think about when we're going forward. The company in this offer is offering for people who are retired to come back to vote on this collective agreement, and they're going to pay them $2,000 to do it. Now, our retirees are, for the most part, staunch trade unionists. But why would a company offer people who no longer work in this workplace payment to decide on your future? Why would the company actually put out what is tantamount to a bribe to have people come in and vote on the contract that's going to affect you, not them? What company that has an honest position, an honest and straightforward position, would consider doing that? Whether or not this contract is acceptable, it should be based on what its terms are. And anybody who would offer bribes to people to come in to help support their position obviously aren't operating from a position of moral high ground. We need to think about that. If you have to do that in order to get your position won over, the only position that the company can go to is fear. Fear and threats. That's your future. We've gone from a company that had virtually no grievances, cooperation between union and management, joint planning, to this. Fear and intimidation. Fear and intimidation will be your future. I know you all got payments. I know you all have mortgages. I know you all have responsibilities. I know you all have families. We all do. No one in the union takes anything more than what you do. There are those who are out there saying that the union executive is making full-time wages, that we have all sorts of perks. We're in it together. We take stretch pay like you. These are people who have lost hope and are trying desperately to justify why they have to take this deal. The reality of this deal is it's a bad deal. This is not in your best interests, and the responsibility of the union executive is to let you know that this deal will not be favorable to you. It will solve the short-term issues. It's going to solve the issues of whether or not I get a paycheck next week, and in return, get to live in a world of fear and uncertainty. A world where the management, the people you work for, treat you with utter contempt, as they have demonstrated. And I'm sure that plant closure may be said with a smile on their face. They may say to you that the place will be down forever, and they'll tell you it's in your best interest. But consider the facts. Consider what you're voting for. Think about it. It's your future.